Got to start to clean this thing up. It's running halfway decent. It actually runs good, idles good. Still got to mess around with the governor a little bit, do something different there. The governor linkage is froze up on one side. I can't get the pin out. And little arm that sticks off the back of the carburetor, somebody had replaced that, and it's not where it needs to be. The angle of it, it's like the rod's too long. So if I can get the rod out, I'm probably going to take the rod off and cut it in two and put an adjuster in the middle of it, since somebody welded the adjuster up at the front there. But regardless, this thing smells bad. My pressure washer's on the fritz, so I'm using my old suction gun hooked up to the air compressor there with some degreaser mixed with water to get some of the gunk off of this thing. Other than that, it's charging, runs decent, front end loader works. Finished doing the diff on the rear, so where it was full of water. Ordered the boots for the shifters. They're not horrible, but they're not tight either. Until I get here, I might just do the old zip tie trick on the top of them. Do the zip tie trick up on the top of them. Let me get this thing started washing here. What I got is my old suction gun here. Used to use this a long time ago, back before pressure washers were really prevalent and cheap. All it is air nozzle hooked up with a suction on it, and you stick that line in whatever you're using. Used to use Varsol a long time ago. In this case, I'm just using general purpose degreaser mixed with a 50-50 ratio with water. Especially need to get any around this side and up here where the loader's leaking at. This loader hose has been leaking up under here fairly decent. Need to tighten that up and replace these, whatever hoses need to be replaced for the loader, and service this thing. I'll do another video on that, draining it and then filling it back up. Like I said, I think this is a Wagner loader, like a WM3 or 4. Might be a 4, because it's got dual cylinders on the front instead of the one. We'll find out. And I already ordered a water pump for it, because them bearings are about toast. The thing's making a lot of noise, just sitting there idling. You can hear it chunk, chunk, chunk. All right, let me get started degreasing. I forgot how good this old thing works. It does a good job. Of course, I'm not really blasting with that high pressure, maybe 120 pounds. It's taking it off though, not like a pressure washer would, but then again, 3,000 pounds versus 120, 150. Still taking it off though. I'll probably have to do it a couple of times. Well, I know I'll have to do it a couple of times. It's pretty thick up under here, under the steering housing, trans top. It's leaking out of the, I'm guessing it's leaking out of the steering box. Couldn't really tell. That's why part of the reason I needed to clean it up. That and the thing just stinks. I don't know what they were using it for, but every time you touch it, you get gunk under your fingernails, and then you smell it until you scrub it out of there. So I'm gonna degrease it the rest of the way around, and rinse it off with water, and probably have to do it again. Old seat needs some attention there. This fender right here is about ready to fall off of here. I don't think I'm going to replace it. I'm going to try and take it off and reinforce it. This one here, I'll probably take it off. The box is about rusted out. I'm going to take that box, take this fender off, and probably end up welding a plate over top of that box, or just some sheet metal over top of it to try and enclose it. And then maybe put a rubber coating inside of it. Something. Rubberized undercoating, something like that inside. This fender is good and sturdy. This one over here is about gone down at the bottom there. Don't need that. Alright, well, let me finish this thing up. Get it rinsed off for tonight. I like the tennis ball here to keep the lines from rattling. Or at least probably, yeah, those two rattling. Definitely needs new lines. When I do the service on the front end, that's when I'm going to replace all those. You still have to weld up the bucket on it where it's tore out of there. Cut some plate and weld it up, and then fix the booger welds up on the front of this thing here. And we'll be good until something else goes wrong. Right now, though, I'm fairly happy with it. Need a scrape blade for the back too. Tires are filled with antifreeze. Alright, let me finish rinsing this thing. Y'all take care. If you like my stuff, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Have a good week, everybody. Say hi. Say hi, buddy. That's my little feral cat that came with the place, pretty much. On this degreasing thing, the pressure washer, a lot of guys get a little carried away with the pressure washer. A lot carried away with the pressure washer. You have to remember you're blowing past seals that are designed for maybe 30, 40, 50 pounds of pressure, if that, and you're hitting them with 2,500, 3,000 pounds of pressure. That's a no-no. You're blowing right past the seals, putting water in bearings or wherever. So that's just a no-no. You know, if you're gonna use a pressure washer, use it correctly. You want to hit the big areas that don't have seals on them or anything where you're blowing past it, filling it with water with usually a corrosive chemical. Don't be afraid to use your hands and a brush with some degreaser and a brush or a scraper to get away big stuff, and then hit it with degreaser again and then a brush. It's just a little pet peeve of mine. I've had people, usually on motorcycles, use pressure washers, which I totally disagree with. Guys do it anyway, and then they wonder why their wheel bearings go out because they blew past the plastic seals on the wheel bearings. Even sealed wheel bearings, the wheel bearings will blow right past them. And then the bearings corrode, they blow all the grease out of it, and then they're toast. This ain't no different. Your car, your truck, whatever piece of equipment you're using. So just be careful what you're doing with a pressure washer. It's just a pet peeve of mine. I use it. I use one, but I know enough not to be blowing past seals and blowing into electronics and everything else, especially with some of the degreaser you guys are using. It's highly corrosive. And I've had guys use purple power on aluminum stuff. Now, nothing on this tractor is aluminum, hardly anyway. But they'll blow it all over aluminum stuff, and it's basically it's lye based. It's going to eat the aluminum. So just be careful. Read the directions on your degreaser to make sure it's compatible with that you're using it on. I use purple power on this because it was that 5 gallon pail was on sale at Napa for like $25. Same where I bought the 303 fluid for the diff and the trans. Now it's supposedly banned here in this state. That's what somebody said. 303 fluid is. It's not banned here. Hasn't been banned here. Even if it is, they're still selling it. And I don't know why they'd ban it anyway. It's perfectly fine for, your 1950s, 60s, probably into the 70s tractor. I get it. Newer stuff probably doesn't work as good as whatever they're recommending. And they can and will void your warranty, but, what's my warranty on this? Nothing. What's the warranty on anything made, you know, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 100 years ago? There ain't none. So if it works, it works. That's just another thing that, oh, look, I had a slew of these going by here lately. 5 of them just passed a little bit ago, heading down towards Bragg. Sometimes they're flying just over the treetops here. I know I said just over the treetops, probably 100 feet over the treetops, but they're pretty noisy when they're traveling that low. All right, well, that's enough for this thing. You guys take care. Like again, I said, if you like it, subscribe, comment, share, whatever. Have a great day.